Alright, so I got 2006 International 4700. The complaint was loss of throttle pedal, and then it died. The engine light came up. The only real codes that were in here were for the accelerator pedal. I think they were like mechanical failure, or there's a couple of them. Idle speed not what it's supposed to, not actual. I don't know. There was a bunch of them, but they're all for the accelerator pedal. So I noticed fuse number 24 was for the accelerator. Clutch switch is what the fuse said. So it took a little while for me to find, but I found a wiring diagram. This right here is the accelerator pedal, and this is fuse 24. So this comes up, it goes into, it looks like a switch. It might be like an idle switch or something like that, because I think that was one of them, was the idle switch, was one of the codes. So it looks like when you put it on, it just switches back and forth to come off idle or on idle. And then those come over and they just go right into the ECM. So they're all violet, and you get the one power going in. That's fuse 24. So where was the clutch switch? So right here, this one's a little bit better. So you got fuse 24. It comes up, it splices off to the accelerator pedal, which was what was in the other diagram, and then it comes straight up to the clutch switch. So this is the clutch switch. You got two different switches in there, it looks like. So you got two 1200 ohm resistors, and it looks like this one is switched, so maybe when you put the clutch on, it reads 1200 ohms, and when it's off, it's 2400 ohms. I'm not exactly sure, but this switch section over here is for the starter, the neutral safety switch, and then that comes down. It goes through the, passes through the dash, and then it goes to the ECM. There's a section, or this little picture here for the neutral safety switches for automatics, I believe, because it comes in the ignition, and I don't think that wiring is there, so I'm pretty sure that's for the automatic. So anyway, it took me a little playing around, but so because they're both in the same feed, I believe what happened was the clutch switch shorted out and blew the fuse, and that also caused us to lose the throttle pedal, which caused it to basically go into like a limp mode, and then it just shut down. So it stayed running basically in case you're driving to get you off the road, and then I think it's timed, and then it just shuts down. When I went out there, the clutch, it wouldn't start. We actually had to have it towed back because it was in the middle of a storm, but so it wouldn't start, and it still won't start off the clutch switch. When I replaced the fuse, because I'd found with that blown fuse, we cranked it and it started right up immediately after I put the fuse in, but it blew the fuse at the same time. Probably when you let off the clutch, it blew the fuse, because it blew it right away. It stayed idling. I was able to drive it for about a half a second, and then the throttle pedal went out, and then it continued idling, but I shut it off to see if it would restart again, and it wouldn't restart again. So I replaced the fuse with the breaker that was in there, with a higher amp breaker, to see if maybe I could just get it back to here instead of having it towed, because it's a big truck and it's costly to tow them. So I put a bigger fuse in there, and it didn't blow it, but it didn't start either, so it wouldn't do anything. And then I think I tried a 10 amp instead of a 5. So I put a breaker in, and the breaker didn't blow, and I was getting power over here to the plug, because you've got, here's the plug right there. So this is the plug where it comes, oh, sorry, here's the plug right there, and then this is the clutch switch. So here's the wiring where it comes to the clutch switch. This is the clutch switch. It's like a magnetic one. So you can see this is it on the side over here. Oh, sorry, that's it right there, and then the clutch just gets next to it, and then it magnetically actuates. So you've got the two pink wires, those are the switch for the neutral safety switch, I believe, and then the purple and the gray one are the other two wires with the resistors in it, and I'm pretty sure those are for like the cruise control and things like that. So I took the wiring here and I pushed the clutch down, and I didn't have continuity through there. So what I did was I plugged a couple of plugs into the harness coming in, and then I just put them together and was able to start the truck. So that basically told me that the clutch switch was bad. So being that there's obviously a fault with that, I figured that that's going to be no problem. So we're going to swap that out. So here's a part number for the clutch switch. I don't know if they have an aftermarket, but I got it from the international dealer. So the way this goes in, looks like it comes in from this side and hooks in here and snaps in, because you can see the two little tabs there, but there's no tabs here, so it just kind of hooks in and snaps forward, and then it should be in. I got some instructions here. Installation instructions. If this says anything. Oh, so it comes with installation instructions. So, yep. So I just kind of grabbed those tabs, pulled them back, and pushed on it, and it comes right out. Maybe. Here's that. I'll stick the new one in. Come on. So that's in. So yeah, if you've got to jump the clutch switch, it's the two pink wires. If you go to the International's website, I believe I found a PDF for support, and then you just find your year range of the truck, and then you can get a service manual. I mean, the wiring diagrams aren't very good, but anything's better than nothing, I gotta imagine. So there's that. We are back together. Let's see if it starts. Well, that's what my problem was. So if that can help somebody, thanks for watching. So there's another way to test this switch itself. One, if it doesn't start, it's a magnetic switch, so I stick it to something metal and you find where the two pink wires were, and you should get continuity through it when it's magnetized like that, and you got nothing. I got nothing on the other side either. So we got a problem on both sides. As I don't think the switch part is a part that shorted, because I'd have to short to something. So I think inside here the two separate sections somehow shorted together, and that's where the problem is. But so you can see that that's not working there. There we don't have anything when it's not magnetized either. So here you go. So the instructions say there's two ways you can test the clutch switch. It says the clutch switch has two functions that can be tested by starting and driving the vehicle. One, depress the clutch completely and start the vehicle. If the vehicle starts, test drive the vehicle and set the cruise control. When the clutch pedal is depressed, the cruise control setting should cancel. So you can do that with cruise control or I believe the high idle or the PTO idle selecting section or whatever, so you can raise the idle. If the vehicle does not start or the cruise control setting does not cancel, refer to International's service procedure. So basically that's it, and then it tells you just push the tabs and you get that off. So if that can help somebody, awesome. If not, let me know what I did wrong, and I thank you for watching.